My husband shoved me out of a helicopter because he believed I kidnapped his secret wife's children. I survived. Barely. But when I came home, I realized the real hell hadn't even started yet. Chantel's POV. After I hung up the phone, my gaze drifted down to the terms written on the divorce papers in my hands. But my mind was already slipping somewhere else. I wasn't just the CEO's secretary, I was his wife. We'd been married in secret for 7 long years. I still remember the morning of our anniversary. That day, I found out I was pregnant. I'd tucked the test into my bag, rehearsing how I'd tell him over dinner. But on my way back to the estate, a car came out of nowhere and slammed into me. The world spun in a blur of screeching tires and shattered glass, and the first thing I did was to shield my belly. Blood was everywhere. I could barely hold my phone, but I managed to dial his emergency number. It rang, and rang, but Lachlan never picked up. By the time I stopped calling him, darkness pulled me under. When I woke up, the first thing I did was to feel my belly. It was flat. Remembering what my baby bump used to feel like shattered my heart. Felt like someone dug it out of my chest. I didn't need to ask. The pity in the doctor's eyes told me everything. Somehow, I made it home and moved on autopilot, shoes off, coat hung, laundry started. That's when I found it, a crumpled receipt in my husband's pockets. And beside it, a photo. There he was, my husband, smiling, arm around Kirsten. Standing beside them were 2 children, a boy and a girl, who looked identical. Probably twins. Their features were unmistakable. They looked like him. And the 4 of them together looked like a family. My legs nearly gave out from the pain. Still, I caught myself on the edge of the washing machine and unfolded the receipt with shaking hands. It was from an amusement park, the same one located near where my accident happened. So Lachlan already has kids with Kirsten. So that day, while I was bleeding in the ER, they were at a theme park enjoying a family day. So while I was losing the baby I hadn't even gotten to tell him about, he was having fun with his 2 kids. The realization hit like another collision, the pain so sharp I couldn't straighten up. My vision blurred again, but this time from tears. I wiped my face, shoved the photo and receipt back where I found them, and forced myself upstairs. By the time Lachlan stepped out of the shower, towel slung low, displaying his abs, I had already braced myself. That's when I saw them, scratches running down his back. Long, thin, fresh. He paused when he saw me, just for a second. Then, as if nothing had happened, he reached into a bag and tossed me a necklace. Don't be mad, he said lightly. I just took a client's family to the amusement park that day. I'll make it up to you, all right? My heart clenched. A client, I repeated in my head. As if any client needed a billionaire CEO to personally escort their wife and kids to Disneyland. If he cared about me at all, he wouldn't lie to my face with something that ridiculous. I caught the necklace without a word. My hands felt numb. That night, he climbed into bed and pressed against me. Babe, I've been away on business so long. Did you miss me? His deep voice was seductive, but the scent of jasmine clung to his skin. That familiar feminine perfume made me feel like I was suffocating. I had to push him away to breathe. Seeing the confusion contorting on his face, I said flatly, I'm not feeling well tonight. He frowned but didn't push. He just kissed my forehead, got up, and when he came back, he handed me a cup of chamomile tea. He still acted like the perfect husband, but as I sipped the warm tea, all I felt was cold. The warmth didn't melt the dread in my heart. I closed my eyes, but all I could see was blood. The crash. The way it felt to lose everything in one breath. The trauma robbed me of sleep that night. Sometime in the middle of the night, his phone rang. He answered quickly, dressed even quicker, and slipped out the door without a sound. The soft click behind him was the only goodbye. I opened my eyes. The room was silent again. Too quiet. In my hands, I was still holding both agreements, divorce and resignation. I stared down at them, the paper trembling slightly in my grip, when suddenly, a voice came from behind me. Chantel? What's that you're holding? Chantel's POV. You're just in time. Sign this. It's... Before I could finish, Lachlan snatched the documents from my hands. Forget it, he replied, not even looking at me. We agreed. No work at home. Your efficiency's just too damn poor anyway. I froze mid-motion. The sting in my chest spread fast, bitter and cold. Well, he wouldn't have to worry about my work performance much longer. Just as he was about to flip through the documents, his phone rang. He moved quickly to answer it, but not quick enough. I caught the caller ID. Kirsten. Just like that, he dropped the papers without a second thought and rushed out the door. I bent down to gather the scattered pages. Just as I was about to stand, he came storming back in, and kicked me, hard, right in the stomach. Pain exploded through my abdomen like needles stabbing into my flesh. I had just suffered a miscarriage. I swallowed the taste of blood rising in my throat and shot him a look in disbelief. Chantel, you shouldn't have done this, he said calmly, but there was ice in his eyes. You kidnapped my kids, just because I took them to an amusement park? A cold shiver ran down my spine at that accusation. Before I knew it, he already grabbed me by the neck, his fingers digging in. I was like a wounded animal, barely breathing, completely at his mercy. Stop messing around. Where did you hide my twins? He demanded. My vision swam with darkness as his grip tightened. I used what little strength I had left to croak out the words from my dry throat. I don't know. The Lachlan I once knew, he would have scooped me up, panicked and worried. No, the Lachlan I used to love wouldn't have laid a hand on me in the first place. I trembled violently, like someone already on the brink of death. His eyes flickered with what looked like pity, but his grip didn't ease. You've been bad, Chantel, he murmured, and bad women need to be punished. Then he dragged me out of the house. I didn't even have the strength to fight back. Next thing I knew, we were on a helicopter, rising fast above the clouds. 10 minutes later, the ground was nothing but a blur beneath us. Chantel, Lachlan said, his voice weirdly gentle, you still have time. Just tell me the truth. He gave a soft, almost amused laugh, only to pull the cabin door open. The wind roared, and my knees buckled. Lachlan, I gasped. Please, it wasn't me. You know I'm terrified of heights. But he didn't listen. Instead, he strapped a parachute tightly around me as he said in a coaxing voice, you went too far this time, he said. Tell me where they are, and I'll bring you down safely. He knew about my phobia. He'd seen me freeze on third-floor balconies, and now here we were, thousands of feet up, strapped in, terrified, because of Kirsten, and her children. I was crying now, unable to stop shaking. Lachlan, it wasn't me. I swear. I'll say it one last time. His eyes narrowed, and then came that cruel, icy laugh. Without a word, he shoved me out of the helicopter, and as I fell, as the air screamed around me, everything just felt nothing. At a moment I used to fear the most, 10 years of love flashed through my mind. How did we end up here? When I first became his secretary, I warned myself every day, don't fall for him. Keep it professional. But Lachlan spent 3 years tearing my walls down, one sweet moment at a time. On my birthday, he lit up the entire Las Vegas with fireworks just for me. He even knelt and proposed 99 times. 99. I was not exaggerating if I said the villa was full of his gifts, every room, every corner. I tried to suppress my feelings until he said, don't be afraid. I'll fight against the world just to love you. It was that promise that made me say yes on his 100th proposal. And once we were married, he meant every word. At first, whatever I liked, he'd get it for me before I even asked. He even agreed to keep our marriage a secret, just because I didn't want public attention. I thought what we had was different, until I heard Kirsten's name. She was the one who'd saved him once, his so-called first love. But when Lachlan's family went bankrupt, she ditched him and ran off to Berlin. For years ago, her own life tanked, and suddenly she was back in Nevada, clinging to what used to be. Since then, she started inserting herself into every private moment I had with my husband. All it took was a phone call, and he would leave me behind to run to her. I fought with him so many times over it. And every time, he'd hold me close and gently explain, it's not like that. I just owe her for saving me back then. But she left me once, too, without thinking twice. How could I still have feelings for her? Besides, I have you now. Blinded by love, I chose to believe him. I played dumb, for years past like that. And now, their twins were already 4. When I woke up in the hospital, I stared at the ceiling in a daze. You've just suffered a miscarriage, the doctor said quietly. And your body endured heavy trauma. It might be hard for you to conceive again. My lips twitched as tears spilled uncontrollably down my face. When I finally made it home, I didn't even step inside before I heard her voice. Locke, you really want me and the kids to move in? What if Chantal gets mad when she comes home? What if she hurts the kids again? I don't know what I'd do, she sobbed. Through the cracked door, I saw him, Lachlan, pulling her into his arms like she was the one who needed saving.